Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial for design. So this is assignment 3 given to my students. And this time they had to kind of figure out how to do by themselves, images. Um, that's a new thing they didn't learn. And they kind of had to figure out, well, I need to merge my layouts together to get this type of setting at the bottom here for the 4 buttons. And while I'm at it, I want to show you how you could reproduce this in a more automatic way by using the grid layout. So let's get started. So the first thing I need is a title on the top, so we could just put a text. Let's see, what was the names of those things? We have edit text. What else do we have? Text view sounds really good because I don't want to change it. So let's do wrap content. At the top, I'm gonna add my title of my game, Resonoid. And looks how it looks. It looks okay. So by this, you should see it's in the middle. So we're gonna put some gravity on there. We're gonna put some layout gravity. It's a relative layout, so I can't do that. Well, noticing here, I could make it relative, but noticing that they're all from top to bottom, this kind of tells you, well, linear layout might kind of be better here, so I don't have to specify any random magical numbers, right? So here, now that we have a linear layout, we're just gonna go gravity, and we're gonna take the layouts, gravity, and we're gonna center it. Well, we're gonna center it horizontally. Is that what I want? Nope. We want to center it vertically. Nope. What I want is center horizontally. However, forgot to add orientation. Go to vertical. There we go. Alright. Obviously we could play with the text size, so let's put some text size, maybe text size. There we go. Now we could put it into, so depending on the user, some users are blind and need this bigger. Sometimes you want the image to always be statically to a specific size, so it's up to you how you do it. But for now, as we just learn SP, which is a scalable resolution, we're going to use that so the title will change depending on the user's eye vision. So let's go and put 60 SP. No, that's way too big. 30. Maybe 20 sounds good. Alright, so 20 SP right in the middle. We could add the border, we could change the color, might as well just do it, have some fun. So text color, make it some red. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just gonna make it accents, whatever accents is. There we go. Usually you would see the colors beside, but it's because I didn't type color slash. Now we should see the colors. There we go. Right, anyway, so we said go red primary, right? No, it's not red. Let's go find red. Oh, there we go, color accents. Okay, so we got that. Let's see if there's a border type of thing we could put. No, but we could change the text view color, or we could it's fine actually. Let's skip the border. So we got our border. Next we need is an image. So we have image button, image switcher, image view. Sounds good. Now the width, we want to match the parent, so it takes the whole area. And the content, we're going to just wrap it. That should be fine. So we're missing an image. Well, we should go and find the source for the image we want to put. So let's just go in design. I don't remember the exact word. Selecting my image view. It's source. Okay, so source. Let's just go check out some images. What do we have? Drawable. We have meaningless stuff. Obviously we didn't add any images. I'm not gonna add anything. This actually sounds pretty cool. Maybe something. Oh, IC launcher sounds really cool. So let's put IC launcher. You notice it's kind of not doing what we want. We want something that takes the whole graphic. Obviously, if we put a real picture that takes a bigger size, it's gonna wrap it or get it bigger or something. So, as this is our first time playing with the image, we're gonna go in the design here and check out what kind of properties our image gives us. And just the main ones, if we look at them, we have the source, content, description, background, so forth, so on. We have something called scale. Well, I kind of want to make this thing scale a bit bigger. So we could try fill, well, we could try all of them. Let's just try matrix, not working out. Maybe the size, let's just make it bigger a bit. What if we go fit XY? That looks nice. Fit start. It's kind of trying to keep its ratio. Fit center. Same thing, but you know, keeping the ratio. Fit end. Center maybe. Just keeps it at the normal size it's at. Center crop. And it pushes in, but we lose a bit of the border, right, for the center crop. Let's just go with fit center. And we get the whole image and we got some space. Now, we kind of extended our image view. What happens if we bring it lower? The image changes size too. So this time we kind of want to give it some size, but I don't want to give it numbers. But for now, we're going to give it numbers. So coming back to my image view. Oh, he actually did it for us. Yeah, added a layout weight 0.31. Okay, so for me, what I'm thinking was, we set this to 1. We try to fit this in, and whatever's remaining, that's our picture. So I was just gonna go here and just do layout weight to 1. Okay. For now, and as we add stuff, it'll remove it. If we want, you could just bring it back to 0. Let's say 50. And we could play around with it so we have like a clear view, and then we come back and we change it to 1, and it's gonna just fit whatever's remaining space. So let's come back and let's do these buttons. So if we notice, it's still going vertical. This is fine. It's over here that's a bit different. The left, right are, if you would say it inside another linear layout, going horizontally. Okay, so that's the first way we could do it because it's the things we learn. Sorry. So we're gonna add a button. Wrap content. We need to set the gravity. Set it to center. Let's see, center horizontal. Nope. Center vertical. Nope. Why is it not centering? Center horizontal was good. Oh, I'm setting the gravity. So the gravity sets the content. Sometimes using the IntelliSense, I don't see what I'm doing. Gravity, we want to set it for the layout. We want to center horizontal. And we want to just close off our button. It's cool, that's there. Now we want another button just like this. That's going to be at the bottom. So I'm just going to copy that and put it in. And right between those two buttons, I want to have this thing. So all we gotta do is say, well, let's add another linear layout. Let's wrap the content. We don't want to match the parent. If we match it, we're just gonna take all the space. So we just want to forcefully take as much as required and nothing more. And we want to set the orientation to horizontal. Always make sure. And inside there, we're just gonna add 2 buttons. Button 1, wrap content. And as you notice the image view is changing size as we add more stuff. Oh man, what am I doing? Okay, give me a second. I moved around stuff with the keys and it's just messing up. There we go. Alright, so copy this. So we got our button, and we're kind of having an issue at this button. Well, actually, we're having an issue in both. But let's just start seeing what's going on. So what we need is these buttons kind of connecting to each other. And there's emptiness in the middle. Well, if you didn't go relative and you if you went linear and you didn't go relative, it's gonna be a bit of a pain. So how do we make this extra space in between? Well, we could use probably the gravity. Let's try that out. Gravity and set it to bottom. That's not what we want because that's not where we're going. Set it to right. Still not what we want. Oh, we're using normal gravity. Again, if you use normal gravity, it's the inside contents, right? So gravity, we want to use the layout gravity. Let's do bottom, see what happens. Nothing. Because this is horizontal, let's use right. Still won't go till the end, and that's another reason is because our linear layout width is wrapping. So we're gonna set that to match parent. So let's go bottom this time. Still no. So again, he places them one by one, and because of that, it's kind of forced to there. Let's see if there's anything else in here we could grab. Center clip, vertical clip, horizontal. Let's put it to end, and the gravity doesn't do anything we want. That's great. So what can we do to fix this? Well, first thing, the easiest thing is to just switch it to relative layout and we put spacing. But if we do that, then we're adding magical numbers and the layout looks different. Buttons could look different, size, location looks different. We want to try to wrap it as much as we can so it doesn't look as much different as it looks. So thinking about it, let's see. One thing we could use, well, it's to give a space between them, which is again not the greatest thing, but let's try it just to see that we could get it to go. So we want a margin, but on the right side of it and on the left side of it. So we just gonna go over here, margin set to left, set it to 20 px, maybe a bit more, 40, a tiny bit more, 45. See, now this is the stuff that I don't like to do, is because we're doing this, but it's fine. 45 px, nope. 50, nope. 100, let's take off our mouse. 100 looks okay. So we got our first, and we could add a margin right to this, so we'll space that out, or we could also add it here, whichever one works. We're gonna take off that gravity that didn't work and do a margin left on this as well, and we're gonna give it 100 px. Let's see where that goes. Nope. So let's do 120. By the way, there's other ways of doing this. I'm just gonna show you guys one or two ways, and then we're gonna go for it. Just want to finish this. 78 maybe? Nope. 74. Oh my god. This is why I hate doing this, but we gotta learn. 150. Almost there. So 155. Cool, that looks about right. So we got our buttons. Let's make our image takes the whole thing, right? So we're gonna switch the gravity of that to 1. So whatever space remaining, it will force it out, right? And also we need up, left, right, down. So let's go and set my buttons text to up, text to left, text to right, and lastly text to bottom. Okay, and now we got our little game setup type of thing. So we got the design going. We got pretty much this, or actually, sorry, if you notice, this one doesn't have any margins at the side, so we gotta go fix that. So obviously if we look at our image view, it's kind of has these margins, right, or padding in this case. So we take off the padding left and right, and our left and right buttons messes up. So what we could do is just go add that to our left button. I think it was 16 or something. How much was it? 16 dp. Oh, I'm using px for some odd reason. So px is pixels, dp is density independent pixels. So it changes depending on the screens and whatnot. And anyway, look for the tutorials. So let me just fix this, and let's go back to dp, but we're gonna go 50 dp, 60 dp. It's not going good. 65 dp. Okay, that sounds good. And over here, 65 dp. We need a bit more. 85, maybe 80. That sounds about right. Okay, maybe a bit less, a bit more, whatever. It's fine for now. We got our whole setup done. However, we have a few issues, like why wouldn't our buttons take the whole space given, right? And other stuff like that. So, and you know, this looks way better than what we did here. So I just want to show you guys another way of doing this button setup, and that's to delete all this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make you guys a new thing so I could send this to you guys. So I'm gonna go make a new activity gallery, assignment 3, let's say grid version. Okay, finish. So we don't need this, we don't need this anymore. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this whole thing and bring it over here and close that off. So, however, this whole button setup at the bottom, I want to change this out. So I'm gonna put them all inside a grid layout, and we're gonna see what we're gonna do here. And I'm gonna put all the buttons in there too. So let's just drag this in. Put it some space, cleaning it up, and drag this button in. And give it some space too. Alright, so now we have an issue. Our buttons are going off. It's grid. Forget about the orientation. We need to set a dimension for our column. So we start typing column, put 3. Why 3? Well, we'll come back to this. But if you notice, there's like kind of a button here, but it's missing. Button here, button here, button here. So we know it's at least 3 columns and 3 rows. So we make sure it's at least 3 columns. Next thing, this gravity thing, we're gonna remove it. Looks nice here, just not what we want. And let's remove this margin. Those are bad coding. Well, try to avoid it whenever you can, right? And gravity, again, no gravity. I hate when I do that. I hold shift and command. I'm so used to a Windows keyboard. Okay, so now we got those. We're missing something. Well, what we're missing is actually introducing invisible buttons or invisible nothingness. In that case, you could actually use this thing called space. So on the first part, there should be a space. There we go. And you'll notice it takes the same amount of space as the other ones because they're, as a grid, it's supposed to be all the same size, right? So we're just gonna introduce more spaces. By the way, when I mean they're all supposed to be the same size, these wrap contents are pushing that column or row to be at that height or width, okay? So when I add a space, they're gonna take the same amount of area. So we got a space, space, button, space, button, space. So right here, button, then space, And then the last one, we don't need to add it, but if you want to, let's just add another space. Okay, just for, I don't know, whatever reason that makes your OCD calm down. So we got that going. However, the buttons aren't in the middle, and the buttons aren't taking as much space as we want to, and etc, etc, etc. Well, what we could do here, it used to do the gravity, right? So what we're gonna do is set a gravity, layout gravity, and we're gonna set it to 1. So we're gonna set all the gravities to, sorry, not to 1, but to fill. So this is another feature of gravity, which is saying, hey, wherever you are, just expand until you fill the whole space. You know, it's pushing you so much and whatever. But we'll need to put that for all 3 of them. So we're gonna put gravity. Let's see what happens first, and then we'll go to the next step. So even the space is kind of needed. See, now it's affecting the last row, but that's not what we want. And space. So space, button, gravity fill, gravity fill, gravity fill, gravity. Okay, well, the last one is kind of taking more than the other ones. So this is the moment we bring back the weights. We try to make them all the same weight. So all we gotta do is to go here and type in weights, and you'll see there's a column weight and row weight. Well, we currently, what matters right now is that they have the same width, right? The height doesn't really matter. We could set them the same height, and if you think about it, this is a button. So having the same height for all the buttons and making them bigger might actually be more useful. So let's go put some column weight. I'm gonna put that to 1, and let's put some row weight and put that to 1. So now it kind of messes up our whole thing. You have to kind of have faith in what we're doing. Hopefully it'll turn out good. So we're gonna add that to every one of them. And you'll notice when I write 1 row, it should start showing some progress, or not. Am I doing this video all wrong? I just might. Aha. So what am I doing wrong? Well, if you remember, when you add weights, this wrapping thing kind of messes up everything. So we're gonna go and just remove, because our weights are doing it, we're gonna just remove for all our buttons the layout weight and height. And I'm gonna clean up as I'm going down. And if I forget something, please do tell. You guys aren't beside me, but you know, magic happens. And the last one, I believe. And oh, I forgot to put one of them. So what is going on here? Oh, magic. See, the last one needed it too, otherwise it was just destroying everything else. And we get something like this, which the buttons take as much space as they can. Let me see if I go on grid layout. Okay, so the buttons take as much space as they can, filling up the void, right? And each one of those space takes the same amount of space, etc, etc, and you make something like this. Okay, this is the last way of doing it, which kind of makes it much more manageable. So if we switch screens just to see how it looks, still looks nice. Let's go on TVs maybe. See, it kind of expands. We don't have to take care of it. The image takes the whole space too. Nexus 4, Nexus 9, and obviously it doesn't look good on all screens. Why am I keep going on Nexus? But it does it in a way where it's still manageable. It's still playable, right? So this is one thing you guys gotta notice, that you're trying to make it playable on as many devices as you can. Sometimes you're gonna say, well, it looks way too ugly, even though it's manageable. But sometimes you're gonna say, well, until it's playable, it's fine. The user could, work around it, right? And that's it for today, guys. See you next week or see you whenever. Subscribe, like, comment, ask me questions, whatever. Cheers.